Hi, everyone. All right, so today we're going to talk about solving one-step addition and subtraction equations. I'm actually going to do two lessons in one for this one. Um, so the first thing I want to talk about is this concept of working with word problems, okay? So we have a word problem, right? So in a recent Summer Olympics, the U.S. won 23 more medals in swimming than Australia. The U.S. won a total of 33 medals. Write an equation, not end equation, sorry, write an equation that can be used to determine the number of medals won by Australia. Okay, now there's a certain way I want you to do this, and I'm going to show you what that is. I'm going to pause and then I'm going to show you. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is I want you to write what your problem is going to look like in words. Okay, so for example, we would say that the medals for Australia plus 23 equals 33 medals for the US. Okay, I know a lot of you guys can solve this problem already. That's not what we're worried about. I'm worried about you writing this down properly. Okay, so that's the first part, is I want you to write that in words. Now, okay, so defining the variable looks like this. It says let M, the letter M, represent the number of medals for Australia. It is important that you know what your variables are representing, what they actually mean. Okay, so in this case, when you see the letter M, you know that means that's the number of medals that Australia won in swimming. Okay, and then finally, we're going to write an equation. And there's our equation. M plus 23 equals 33. Notice that this equation right here is basically the same thing as this sentence that we wrote. Okay. I'm trying to highlight this. It's not working. Anyway, so notice that, okay, that this sentence right here is the same as this. All right. I don't know why I did those little arrows, but you get what I'm saying. All right. So medals for Australia, which is M, plus 23 equals 33. Okay. You see those connections. That's important that you understand those connections. All right. This is how I want you to do word problems. Okay. So now we're going to get into the solving part of it. All right. Okay. So how do we solve this problem? Never mind this weird black dot. I don't, my thing's being weird today. So how do we solve this? Well, it's some of you guys have already looked at this and go, oh, I know the answer to that, Mr. Paulschner, and you already figured that out. And that's great. But let's talk about what we actually do here. So we have M plus 23 equals 33. So what we're going to do is we're going to do something called isolating the variable. That means we want to get the variable all by itself on one side of the equation. Okay, remember the equal sign is like a balance, right? So I got this M and why is it making boxes? Hold on. Apparently I turned on smart drawing, but it wasn't that smart. So anyway, so we have this M plus 23 equals 33. So remember, we have this, our balance, equal sign is like a balance. So what we're going to do is we want to isolate this variable. We want it to be all by itself. So we're going to do M plus 23. How do we get rid of this plus 23? Well, we're going to do minus 23. Okay. Because what's 23 minus 23? 0. So we get M plus 0, which is just M. I don't need to write that 0. But I can't just take away 23 from one side, right? Because it's a balance. If things are balanced, I take away 23 pounds from this side, it's going to go like that, right? So instead, what we're going to do is we are going to take away 23 from both sides. So 23. So M plus 23 minus 23 equals 33 minus 23. So M is going to be equal to 10. Okay. So you just do the opposite of the operation. All right. I'm going to give you some more word problems in a minute, but first of all, I'm going to show you some more of these real quick. Okay. So these are not word problems. I'm just going to show you really quick. So we got this 6x plus 7. Okay. So I'm going to take my 6 plus x, but I got to get this variable by itself, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take away 6, okay? And I could put that over here too. I just wrote it there. Equals 17, and since I took away 6 from this side, I have to take away 6 from that side. 6 minus 6 is 0. X equals 17 minus 6 equals 11, okay? Let's look at this one real quick. We got 14 minus y equals 8. It's a little bit weird because we're going to get this minus y, but you're going to see how this works. So we're going to do 14 minus 14, because this is a positive 14, minus y equals 8 minus 14. Okay, bear with me for a second here. Okay, because we talked about how to do these earlier. So 14 minus 14 is minus y. Negative 14 minus 8 is negative 6, right? So then we're going to take both these and turn them into positives, because we can do that. We're basically multiplying both sides by a negative 1. And so we just check to see if those work. We can substitute. So 6 plus 11 equals 17. So that's right. And 14 minus, we'll substitute that y for a 6 equals 8. So that's right. Okay. So that's basically how you solve them. You just do the opposite operation. If it's an addition problem, you're going to do a subtraction. If it's a subtraction problem, you're going to do addition. Let me give you 1 or 2 word problems to work on. All right, here's 2 problems for you guys to work on. I want you to notice something very important here. First of all, this one says to write an addition equation. This one says to write a subtraction equation. Also, I realize I spelled cards wrong here. You don't have to point that out to me. Yeah, so addition equation, subtraction equation, and I want you to do those steps that I talked about earlier when I scroll over here, which I can't do right now. Okay, words, write it in words, define the variable, and write an equation. Okay, I want you to do all of those for both of these things. Ready? Go. Okay, we'll see how you did, and have a great rest of your night. Bring these to class if you have any questions. Goodbye.